Around here, we still have a red flag warning active until 7 o'clock tonight. Fremont County, the Wet Mountains, Wet Mountain Valley, Sangre de Cristos down to New Mexico, still very dangerous across those areas. If a fire should start, it'll be very dangerous to try and contain that fire. So anyone that sees smoke, please report it to local law enforcement as quick as you can. Here's what the wind is doing, sustained at 21 and 18 right now in Colorado Springs. We are gusting up to 29 miles per hour. That's out of the north. That's that cold front coming through. And here's the good news. Behind that cold front, humidity values are coming up dramatically. We were in the teens earlier today. Right now, 59 and 43%. A bigger, stronger storm to deal with over the weekend. Yes, there's snow on the way. More on that coming up, Rob.
Mike, thanks. For the cost to fight these wildfires in Colorado has already surpassed hundreds of millions of dollars, and it covers an array of personnel and services. Meteorologist Alex O'Brien continues our coverage, breaking down how that money is allocated.
The cost of wildfires is difficult to measure. Some are intangible, like the physical toll of wildland firefighters, the emotional toll of residents fleeing their homes, and the physical monetary cost. Over 500,000 acres have burned so far this year in Colorado, including 3 of the largest fires in state history.
Most likely, given the amount of acres we've burned this year and the number of fires we've had, it's probably up there as one of the higher cost fire seasons in Colorado's history.
Rough estimates so far, $214 million federal dollars and counting. And this has been planned for.
I don't feel like there would be a day that we wouldn't be able to respond because we don't have the funding to do that.
So far in 2020, the Department of the Interior has spent over 67% of its wildland fire suppression budget, meaning that we have not gone over the pot of money that was designated for wildland fire suppression.
The annual wildfire management budget is funded through tax dollars. These funds go to the Department of Interior and the U.S. Forest Service. Then they are allocated to their bureaus and state offices.
Cost of suppression is what we call it, is definitely higher than anything else that we do, whether it's post-area rehab, whether it's preparedness, which is kind of that, just the fact that we're here and that we staff.
Where more support is needed is for wildfire victims and animals, as well as local volunteer fire departments.
Fire suppression is costly, which is why we're always asking people to be incredibly careful with anything that could cause a wildfire, because on average, about 87% of all wildfires every year are caused by people.
Always watching out for you, Colorado. Meteorologist Alex O'Brien, News 5.
All right, let's shift gears. Colorado Springs flyers rejoice. We now have more options as Southwest Airlines starting service out of our airport, and all of us longtime locals know it's something the city has tried to make happen for years. Bill FOLSOM looking into what sealed the deal. He's live at the airport tonight. Bill.
Yeah, Southwest is a growing city, investment by the community, also investment by businesses. Potential at a time when coronavirus, COVID-19 is pushing them to look for options to get passengers, employees, and planes in the air.
Southwest starting air service in Colorado Springs.
Today's huge. Today's a big day for Colorado Springs Airport.
You want Southwest in your airport.
It's in part being ready when opportunity happens. COVID has pushed Southwest to change up its business plan.
They're taking a very aggressive posture with the COVID downturn.
With the coronavirus, it has all the air carriers looking at other potential revenue opportunities.
And they're not laying people off. They've got planes they want to put in the air, pilots they want to put in seats, and they're looking for some new markets.
It's a deal a long time coming. Back in 2003, it was part of former Mayor Lionel Rivera's campaign. He flew to Dallas to meet with Southwest execs, and they assess Colorado Springs.
Do they come here first, betting on our growth, or wait for us to grow into a much larger population base and much more successful business-wise?
Some 15 years later, they do see a different city.
The dynamic, the demographics, a lot more younger people.
And what they said very clearly was, this is not the same city. Colorado Springs has grown so much and so many great things have happened that they're excited, as we are, to start service.
So we know they're coming here. The big question that has not been answered is how many flights are coming here and where they will be going. Well, that should be coming probably within the next couple of weeks, with flights going early next year. The likely scenario is that they will have planes going to some of their bigger locations where you can transfer to another plane. That's typically the way Southwest works. Watching out for you, Southern Colorado. Bill Folsom, News 5.
Bill, thanks. So for today's KOAA digital poll, we wanted to know, with the addition of Southwest, are you more likely to fly out of the Springs Airport? Well, let's take a look at the response, and it's been overwhelming so far. If you'd like to add, right there, 96% of the more than 1,000 respondents we've had today say yes, you will. That's great news for our city. By the way, you can still weigh in. We're going to continue to tabulate at KOAA.com. As we head toward the holiday season, many people wonder if they should see the growing number of seasonal work opportunities, or should they wait for something more permanent. Well, staffing agency experts say a temporary position could be a way into a great company and career. So if you're open to seasonal work, Amazon hiring 100,000, UPS hiring 100,000, FedEx 70,000. Accounting jobs are open for end-of-year taxes, human resources prepping for open enrollment. While many of these seasonal jobs could go away after a few months, the experts say with the right approach, you could find yourself a permanent position.
Every day we always tell people, if you want to work, there's work out there for you, but you just have to put in the work and show that you really, are there to do the job that you're asked to do. And a lot of times it's sometimes just that first impression. We've had people show up on job sites, and we have clients call, or the people that we work with, and say the 4 people you sent out did a phenomenal job with little direction. And so sometimes I think that goes a long way in getting people on hired with different companies.
Now, to get connected with one of your local staffing agencies and for more resources to help in your job search, please go to KOAA.com/rebound. Watching out for you with more folks looking for work here at News 5. We launched our Workers Wanted initiative. One of this week's sponsors, Aspen Auto Clinic. Right now, their team looking for experienced automotive A and B techs. Pay between $55,000 and $100,000 a year. That includes paid training, a signing bonus, health insurance, 401k, and much more. Still ahead at 5, the final presidential debate taking place tonight. We've got a preview of the event and details on how this debate, well, it's going to be different from the last one. Stay with us. Welcome back. We continue our team coverage of the East Troublesome Fire burning in Grand County, which has grown to the 4th largest in Colorado history in just the past 24 hours. Ivan Rodriguez live for us tonight in Granby with more on that firefight. Ivan, good evening.
Good evening. You can see all these clouds behind me, and just to sort of paint a picture for you guys, we've been here all this morning. Behind me, you could still see the mountains, maybe not even just 30 minutes ago. Now they're completely engulfed in smoke. We can't see them anymore at all. And if we look to my right-hand side, that ridge over there was completely clear, maybe even 10 to 15 minutes ago. And you see that smoke coming up over here. A lot of the people in these houses have now left. Based on latest reports, the fire has grown more than 125,000 acres and is only 5% contained. Thousands of people have already been asked to evacuate, and many more are under pre-evacuation orders, like the town of Granby. Again, even though many people have already left town, cars are lining the streets, making their way out, and they've been doing so for hours. The Grand County Sheriff says yesterday they were surprised by just how much this fire grew. The Grand County Sheriff's Office says they thought they had a better grasp of the fire last night before it grew more than 100,000 acres.
We don't know what to expect, and based on what we saw yesterday, I felt like we were ahead of the curve yesterday. I will stand up here and tell you that every day, but I still think that we need to make sure that we're even farther ahead of that curve today.
One woman who was forced to evacuate says she heard her home may have caught fire.
You're numb, and you've been told that it's gone, but then you don't want to believe it. So until you see the ashes, then you just survive.
Almost 24 hours after the town of Grand Lake was told to evacuate, latest reports suggest the fire hasn't reached city limits. Still, that's only a small piece of the picture.
You have to put in perspective. No structures within the town limits have been lost, but the neighborhoods surrounding the town have been decimated.
Again, most people have already left Granby. They've been doing so for hours. The wind here hasn't let up. We've been seeing between 40 to 60 mile-per-hour winds, especially closer to the fire as these winds continue pushing the smoke northwest. We're going to continue to stay out here live, monitoring the situation from Granby. For now, I'm Ivan Rodriguez live.